To wear or not to wear, the controversy surrounding face masks and the likelihood of the state eventually mandating them.
Plus, now seen as offensive, the Washington Redskins are ditching their name and logo. Reaction, as both have ties to Montana.
And later, as we enter into fire season, the importance of being prepared in case you need to evacuate.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
The surge in coronavirus continues to rage across the United States, including Montana. Thanks for making us a part of your night. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Hallie Schwannard. The U.S. has recorded more than 3.3 million coronavirus cases since the pandemic began, meaning nearly 1 out of every 100 Americans has now tested positive for COVID-19.
Let's take a look at our numbers in Montana tonight. 903 active cases now. Statewide, 1,936 total confirmed cases and 32 deaths.
Tonight, talks continue over schools and the fall semester. The Great Falls Public School Board of Trustees are meeting right now. They say there will be new protocols in place to ensure the safety of students and staff members. This includes any student or staff member feeling ill must remain home. Should a student come down with a fever or become ill while at school, they will be isolated in a designated area, and students who are sick will be allowed to make up the work. The board will be going over a slew of new guidelines tonight. We'll have a reporter there, so we'll have an update for you tonight at 10.
Meanwhile, the number of students enrolling in college has declined, according to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center. It's a trend that was happening even before the coronavirus, and now it's continuing as universities prepare for fall classes. Here at home, the University of Providence is actually seeing the opposite. Enrollment at the private Catholic institution has increased. UP enrollment staff tell us the overall number of students is up about 24% compared to a year ago. Credit hour enrollment is also up about 15%. Right now, around 720 students are planning to attend classes for the fall semester, with more still expected. While UP isn't exactly sure why they're seeing increased numbers right now, they're optimistic.
The trick is trying to determine why that is. We have bumped up our marketing strategy quite a bit in the last few months.
Local parents may be less willing to send their kids to places that have higher infection rates.
The schedule for the fall semester has also changed a bit. Students will start classes a week earlier this year on August 24th, and the fall break has been canceled. That will allow students to stay home between Thanksgiving and mid-January when the next round of classes begins.
It's a hot debate right now, face masks. The mayor of Whitefish called an emergency meeting with the city council tomorrow to discuss the possibility of requiring masks in public spaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Since July 6th, the mayor has strongly encouraged people to wear masks in public spaces in Whitefish, but had not made it mandatory. However, he did say if people did not follow masking suggestions, the city would consider moving forward and making it mandatory. We'll keep you posted on what happens at that meeting tomorrow night.
This also leads to a bigger question, a statewide one. Should masks be mandatory? Retail leaders across the country are asking governors to make masks mandatory in public spaces. But as MTN's Matt Holzathel reports, we shouldn't expect a statewide mask mandate in Montana anytime soon.
Here in Cascade County, as is the case with most of the rest of Montana, masks in public spaces are recommended but not required. Earlier in July, the Retail Industry Leaders Association sent a letter to the National Governors Association asking the governor of any state that didn't already have a statewide mask requirement to put one in place. Here in Montana, although Governor Steve Bulk continues to implore Montanans to wear masks whenever social distancing isn't possible, it seems as though a statewide mask mandate isn't coming anytime soon.
In response to the July 6th letter, Governor Bullock said, quote, "I'm heartened that several associations representing businesses, restaurants, taverns, breweries, and more have called on Montanans to wear masks when social distancing is not possible, and many groups have requested their members require frontline workers to wear masks and work together to stay open. I remain hopeful that Montanans will take seriously the recommendations of all those who work on the front lines so that we don't have to get to the point of a mandate on masks."
I'd make it mandatory. There's a lot of places I've gone to in town that they're not wearing masks either. You know, people have gotten lax. Cases are really increasing all over the United States again.
Many businesses are asking people to wear masks, but not requiring them.
We're not mandating masks. If you do come in wearing a mask, I will more than happy put mine on. But if you don't, I will definitely keep my social distancing 6 feet apart.
I can't make people wear masks, but I think masks should be enforced again.
Both business owners say that not everyone that comes in now has a mask on.
Lately, I've seen people more relaxed now, so I'm seeing about 30% wearing masks and the rest not.
50-50 actually. I mean, like I said, if they're not coming in today, I haven't seen anybody wearing a mask, but I know I've got somebody coming in that will be wearing one.
So far, it's been up to individual counties in Montana to put mask mandates in place. Elsewhere in the country, the number of states requiring masks in some capacity is now over 20. In Great Falls, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
So far, Missoula County and Bighorn County are the only counties in the state to approve mask requirements. Well, turning now to weather, it was a windy day with mostly sunny skies. Our Storm Tracker weather team is here to tell us more. And for the latest details, we join Grant Garland in the Weather Center. Grant?
All right, well, good evening, Tim, and good evening, everybody. You're exactly right. We have seen a windy day, not quite as windy as yesterday, but we've still seen our winds whipping up to around 24 miles an hour here in the Electric City. Out towards Havre, 33 miles an hour. In Glasgow, almost 40. And you mix that with our highs today. We've seen temperatures around 73 degrees here in the Electric City. And down towards the capital, we've warmed up to around 78, 75 in Glasgow, and 70 in Cut Bank. Temperatures though right now, 74 in Great Falls, 75 in Helena, 70 in Lewistown, and 72 in Havre. So when we mix all that in together, we look at our relative humidity as well. We've only seen 21% relative humidity right now, so we are very, very dry. Down towards Helena, even drier, 15% and around 17% in Billings. Over the last 3 hours, we've seen most of our cloud cover stay well south of us, right around that Helena region out towards Billings, but that has allowed for also sunny skies, mostly sunny skies for everybody. Now, I'll be back in a few minutes to break down our warming trend, but for now, back to you.
Washington's NFL team will no longer be named the Redskins. Today, the team announced it's getting rid of the racist name and logo. An owner of the team as well as the coach are coming up with a new name and design. It's unclear if the new name will be chosen by the time the 2020 season, which begins in September.
Now, that logo has a direct connection to the Blackfeet Nation of northern Montana. MTN's John Riley spoke with tribal members today to get their reaction.
Washington team ownership announced Monday they will be retiring their name and logo. The logo isn't a mascot, though. It's based off a real man, Chief Two Guns Whitecalf of the Blackfeet tribe.
He was a very prominent person. As what he led to the Blackfeet was integrity. He was a man of integrity.
The team had used the logo since the 1970s. The logo had previously been an R until Walter Blackie Wetzel, former chairman of the Blackfoot tribe and president of the National Congress of American Indians, persuaded the team to change it. The team maintained a relationship with the Wetzel family and the Blackfeet Nation over the years, and members of the tribe have performed traditional music and blessings at the team's stadium several times. The name and logo change comes after a letter signed by 87 investors and shareholders with a total worth of $620 billion was sent to the sponsors Nike, Pepsi, and FedEx, requesting them to stop doing business with the team until the name was changed. The National Congress of American Indians praised the name change and said the previous name disrespected, demeaned, and stereotyped all Native people. Murray said he can't speak for every member of the more than 540 tribes in the U.S., but personally can see how the name and the actions of some of the fans can be seen as unrespectful and degrading.
They would paint their faces and act out, different, put on feathers and whatever. And I think that's what really turned a lot of people off.
That was John Riley reporting. Donnie Wetzel told MTN his family has varying opinions on the matter. He said he personally was glad to see the name change, but sad to see the logo go as well. Well, today at the Montana State Capitol grounds, construction began on the Tribal Flag Plaza. The plaza will showcase flags representing Montana's 8 tribal nations next to the United States and Montana flags. The construction begins a little over a year after Governor Steve Bullock signed the bill to have the flags permanently displayed. Jason Smith, the Director of Indian Affairs for the Governor's Office, says the plaza will be a reminder of the contributions American Indians have made at home and overseas, as well as the partnership between the current administration and Montana's tribal nations.
It really represents the contributions American Indians had made to the state of Montana, but also the partnership between Governor Bullock and his administration and all the Montana tribes, and the things that we've collaborated on and that we've been able to accomplish.
The project is scheduled to be completed at the beginning of October.
Trying to adjust to a new normal. Tonight, how you can continue to support local arts. That story straight ahead. Stay with us.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. As with many businesses, the Whitefish Theater Company is adjusting to their new normal during the coronavirus pandemic. With virtual performances and decreased audience attendance, MTN's Marin Sue spoke with the company to see what you can do to support the arts.
And we talked about, we might have to cancel one show. Mostly Kosher was supposed to come in March. They were from California, which was getting hit really hard. They called us and canceled, and we were like, okay, we're going to have to cancel one show. And then, of course, things spiraled, and we ended up canceling 5 shows, which was about a third of our season.
Jen Acebrook, executive director of Whitefish Theater Company, says since the beginning of the pandemic, the company lost around $80,000. She says the virus canceled shows and their biggest fundraiser in May. With all the revenue lost, she applied for federal funding and received a PPP loan and a social service nonprofit grant. She says money from the PPP loan kept all staff employed throughout the pandemic. Because of the virus, she says the company got creative, now offering in-house and virtual tickets.
We would have 2 kinds of shows. We would film a play as it was happening. So it's not really a film. It's not post-production film. It's just people with multiple cameras filming a live play.
She says this streamed play seminar was successful, having around the same number of people viewing at home and in the theater. However, legally streaming a play is challenging.
We were supposed to do Lost in Yonkers in October. We knew we had the theater rights for them, but we had to go back and ask for digital rights. And they said no. They said no Neil Simon plays are going to be filmed.
Operations manager Gail McLaren says they're being extremely careful, socially distancing audience members, sanitizing frequently, encouraging masks, as well as participating in contact tracing.
If somebody were to test positive and they told the health department where they had been, it would be easier for the health department if I give them the phone numbers of everybody who was here. Okay. So far, that hasn't happened.
And she says they're remaining flexible during these uncertain times.
If we can't have a lot of people in the building for a rehearsal, then we will pick a smaller show.
Acebrook encourages people to support their local arts, whether that's donating or buying tickets to their shows. She says that's the way they'll stay afloat. In Whitefish, Marin Sue, MTN News.
And for your rebound recap, remember application for PPP loans were extended until August 8th. If your business qualifies, you could receive up to $10,000 through something like the Social Services Nonprofit Grant. All that information and links are available on our website, krtv.com/rebound. Well, Rockin' the Rivers Music Festival has pulled the plug for 2020. It's a 3-day music fest that brings in thousands of people, and it's featured some big names and new bands in the past near Three Forks. An article on the website shows the festival has been postponed until August of next year. Organizers say they held out on a final decision as long as they could, but their permits relied on rules for public gatherings that are set by federal, state, and local health officials. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they say the safety of bands, vendors, and concert goers was the most important consideration. All ticket sales and campsite reservations will be honored for next year.
We have already seen our first wildfire of the 2020 summer. It's a good reminder to make sure you and your family are ready if you need to evacuate. Weather forecaster Asia Ray has what you need to know to prepare.
Montana is capable of producing all the ingredients for explosive summer wildfires: low humidity, warm temperatures, and gusty winds. If a wildfire breaks out near your home, you can have just minutes to flee. That is why it is important to have a plan, and that starts at home with your emergency kit, which should include important paperwork, medication, and other essential items. You also want to make sure you follow trusted local media like MTN and local emergency officials' social media pages like the Sheriff's Office. Many times, evacuation orders will be posted there first. Lastly, make sure you know where you can shelter if you are forced to leave your home. If you have any pets, make sure you have arranged a place for them to stay. And while we may be looking ahead to fire season, many parts of Montana are also prone to flooding and other severe weather. So it is important to have a plan in place year-round and review that plan annually. I'm weather forecaster Asia Ray, and now you're a little more weather-wise.
All right, well, we are looking at temperatures dropping down to around 45 degrees tonight, but what about tomorrow? Stay tuned, I'll have a look at your full 7-day forecast coming up after this break.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Grant Garland.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have had a great Monday. This is a great week, so we're going to go ahead and live it out. The average for this time of year is around 83 for the Electric City. Today we got up to around 75, so 8 degrees below the average for this time of year. Our record set back in 1953 when it was 102 degrees, also the year that Queen Elizabeth II, when she was crowned. She is 94 years old today. I hope to live that long. 72 degrees though right now, west winds at 6 miles an hour, so we're not really seeing any feel like temperature being dropped. The humidity though really dry at 21%. Elsewhere looking at 70 degrees in Lewistown, 72 in Havre, out towards Jordan and around 78 degrees there, and in Glasgow 72. And as far as our winds are concerned, we've actually seen our winds kind of calm down, which is great because we did look at a peak wind gust today at around 24 miles an hour. Now if you head on up towards Havre, we are looking at sustained winds right around 18 miles an hour, but out towards Glasgow, almost 30 miles per hour out there. So just hold on to your hats for us. We'll get through this together. Over the last 3 hours, we've been looking at our clouds really staying towards the south of us, south of Lewistown, which has allowed for our temperatures to kind of warm up to a nice, beautiful day. So if you haven't already, maybe it'd be a good time for you to go out and walk the dog. I know they'd love it, and also get that exercise up. It is a great time to do that. And the reason why is because of a high pressure that's really situated out towards Idaho, and that's allowing for us to see the weather we are. Now, if you head on up towards Canada, you're looking at a lot of clouds. Also, right around the Billings area, looking at a lot of clouds. But that high pressure has allowed for us to really continue to see the sunny and the dry weather, and that's going to continue as we head throughout the night into tomorrow. We're going to be looking at the high pressure sitting over us. We're going to be looking at sunny skies tomorrow. Temperatures will warm up a little bit warmer than today. We're going to be looking at showers staying off towards the north as well as to the south as we head throughout our Tuesday. However, though, at the start of Wednesday morning, we start to see our high pressure start to push out towards the west and then back towards the east. And as it does so, it will allow a few clouds to try and come in for a partly sunny day. I think that will mostly stay sunny to mostly sunny. As far as our winds are concerned, we will see our winds peak at around 20 miles an hour for our winds gusting right around the 8 a.m. mark, but we aren't going to be looking at really our winds gusting much more than that. And they should die back down to around 5 to 10 by around 8 p.m. in the evening. As far as our temperatures are concerned, 90 degrees possible on Thursday. Then we're going to start dropping down to around 76 on Sunday, and hopefully we'll have some rain that will help cool us off along with that. So heads up, we are gearing up for a very warm later part of our work week. And as far as we're concerned with looking ahead of that, our long-term forecast, we are looking at not only staying warmer than the average for this time of year, but also we're predicting to stay even drier. So you mix that in like Asia was talking about earlier. You have your gusty winds, you have your warm temperatures, and you have that low moisture count. Well, we're going to see an increase possibly with our fire weather. You can always follow me on social media, meteorologist Grant Garland, on Facebook as well as Twitter and on Instagram. We are looking at tonight temperatures falling down to around 45 degrees in Electric City, 46 in Helena, and 40 degrees in White Silver Springs, 48 in Glasgow. And our temperatures will warm up to around 82 on Wednesday, looking at a mostly sunny day. And then sunny skies on Thursday. We start to introduce the chances for showers possibly on Saturday, isolated at best, but then Sunday we'll have a better chance. Tom and Cece, take it away.
It's bright. That's right, it's bright out here. A little too bright. We'll bring you our top 5 moments of the week in Game Changers.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Well, the calendar is filling up with sporting events with the NBA, NHL, and MLB returning to play later this month.
But while our sports team awaits word on the fall season in Montana, they're staying busy with another edition of Social Distancing Game Changers.
Put your cool shades on. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's a beautiful day outside, so Cece and I are enjoying some summer vibes. We've been looking back at the footage from the week that was. We'll bring you our top 5 moments of the week. First off, whether football returns in the fall or not, we stayed ready in the Wiley household, and Cece is tirelessly working on her routes and her hands. In number 5, in the meantime, the Cats and Grizz put aside their differences for a shared cause. Jeff Choate and Bobby Houck teaming up to encourage Montanans to mask up and help slow the spread of COVID-19 so that fall football season doesn't slip away. At number 4, a pandemic can't stop Pearl Jam bassist and Big Sandy native Jeff Ament from opening up a new skate park, this time in Lincoln, Montana, thanks to local fundraising and generous donations. At number 3, the Big Sky State Games opened over the weekend with an equestrian pony show. And though there will be a lot less sports in 2020, the games are still moving forward, starting with opening ceremonies in the Montana Mile on Friday. And at number 2, Helena Boy Scout Troop 214 took on the tough task of identifying over 750 veterans buried at Resurrection Cemetery, marking each on a map and sharing them with the public to honor. And at number 1, Zoo Montana's newest addition continues his long, slow journey to the Treasure State. The yet unnamed 18-month-old male two-toed sloth is only traveling 41 yards a day, so expect him to arrive later this summer.
And that'll do it for Game Changers. Please send your video to sports@krtv.com or home highlights at krtv.com. We'll feature them every Monday on Game Changers. Reporting from the river, Tom Wiley and Cece Wiley, MTN News.
Cece's excited to see that sloth, and we'll have a final look at your forecast next.